Hello and welcome to the Marble Racing News livestream. We're here today for round 16 of season 5 of the Marble Racing League Championship. So we're starting the 80-minute qualifying session. It is a sprint weekend. There are still 2 sprint weekends to go in season 5. We've only got 3 rounds left though, so we've got this round in Sao Paulo, which is a sprint round. Then we've got a normal race weekend at Silverstone next week, and then we have the final round. That's round 20 at Abu Dhabi, which is also a sprint weekend. We're going on board with Daryl, who is 3rd place in the championship. They're on a flying lap. So all drivers yet to set a flying lap time yet, but Daryl's going to come across the line, and that he's going to set a time of a 1:10.9. We've got an AlphaTauri about to come across the timeline. That is Ibo set a time of 1:12.8. So Andrew's got his lap time validated, but that's only his out lap. He's going to go for a flying lap right now. Andrew's teammate, which is Sheep this round, that's reserve driver. Trunk isn't racing this round, and they are 8th in the championship. I'll give an overview of the standings. So we've got Secret F1 in the championship lead on 308 points. Williams on 216 points, but he hasn't participated in the last few rounds, so that gap is growing between 1st and 2nd place. Then we have Darryl in 3rd place. He was only 30 points behind William in the Aston Martin. Andrew is only 14 points behind Daryl in the Red Bull. Then we have Sebastian, who is not racing this weekend, who's on 121 points. Bit of a gap down to Yax in the AlphaTauri on 78 points. Diego and Trunk are tied in 76 points, so only 2 points behind Yax there. Very close between those 3 drivers. And not far behind is Race Chase in the Alfa Romeo, who's in 9th place in the championship. Sheep crosses the line to go quickest with a 1:08.7. That's a great lap. And rounding up the top 10 in the standings, we have Simple and Haas on 59 points. Quincy at the moment is missing out on the top 10 in the standings by only 3 points in the Mercedes. And 1 point behind Quincy in 12th place in the standings is RQ34 in the McLaren on 55 points. Then a 15-point deficit to Racing Wheel in the Alpine. Alpine now have 2 full-time drivers, so Joseph Dvorak is the new driver for Alpine who scored 2 points last time out in Mexico City. Skid Solo, Verdugo, Enzo, who is now the full-time driver for Ferrari on 23 points. Ibo, Ultimate Mr. Puro, Heights, and Joseph Dvorak rounding up the top 20 in the standings. Still got well over 12 minutes to go. Majority of the field setting lap times. However, Skid Solo and then both reserve drivers for Mercedes, that's DJ Lewis Virus and Rills Taravillo for Mac this weekend. They are 12th and 13th. Okay, so Rills has gone out for an out lap now. The other Mac is still in the pits. You can see the Red Bull at the back of the screen in the pits as well. Okay. So whilst I was going through the standings, Enzo got up into 3rd place with a 1:09.2. Yax set a lap time a tenth slower than him, so that is a 1:09.2 for Yax in the AlphaTauri. We're on board with him now, and he's probably going to go for another flying lap with 11.5 minutes to go. RQ34 and Diego are currently set to start on row 3 for the sprint race. For the main race, the 50% distance race, I think it's 36 or 35 laps. Not sure about the sprint race though. It'll be significantly shorter. and there won't be any pit stops unless there's a safety car and a bizarre strategy comes up. Let's go on board his rails on a flying lap down into turn 4. Got a message saying DJ Lewis virus has disconnected, unfortunately, so that's why he's still in the pit lane. Duke F1 hasn't set a flying lap time yet and has shown that he's retired from the session. They're saying a lap time without DRS, so this is probably a warm-up lap after their out lap. Okay, so Yax has now gone quickest with 1 minute 8.6. Interesting line over the grass there for Real Terravilla, trying to go as far wide as he can. Let's go on board him heading down to turn 1. ERS open. Hit save but can turn 1 and 2 through the center S's. We've already seen 2 of the main overtaking opportunities of the circuits. Here's one here, it's turn 4. Now after you stop over to there, that might lose him a few tenths. And now heading towards turn 6. We're well into sector 2 of the lap now. Very few overtaking opportunities here. It's all about qualifying in this part of the circuits. This fast left-hander is just about flat out in qualifying and in the race. Very easy to miss the apex there on the penultimate corner. And it's now flat out to the timing line, so Wheels is about to complete his first flying lap with a time of 1 minute 9.4. That slots him into 7th place ahead of Veriduco. Majority of drivers saying times in the 1 minute 8s and 9s, with the exceptions of Veriduco and Ibo, who've set a lap time of 1 minute 11 and a 1 minute 12. So we see Real Charavillo is on an in lap now. And then we have Simple, we're going to go on board with them now. They've set a lap time of 1 minute 9.3, they're into the 8th place. Oh, and I've missed that Andrew has now gone to the top of the timings with a 1 minute 8.4. Quite close to the front, so it is a very short lap, one of the shorter laps of the calendar. But the timings are very close. 1 minute 8.4 for Andrew, and only 2 tenths behind him is Yax in the AlphaTauri. Great showing by him, we haven't seen him in the front row for qualifying, I don't think, at all this season, so it's a great result for him so far. Sheep Red Bull will not be scoring points, will not be contributing to Red Bull's current standings. Red Bull won't be, even with them starting first and third, it won't be a huge advantage in the team standings. Simple, we're going to go board it again. He's going to come to pits as he's boarded his lap. Looks like RQ44's got his lap time invalidated in the McLaren. That's not great news for him. His teammate Skid Solo is still in the pit lane. A lot of curb in the exit there for Real Terravilla on now heading through turn 9. Bit of banking there to turn 10 will help you get through there, and now into turn 11, which should be flat out. Turns in nicely there. Misses the apex slightly in turn 12. and that will compromise him all the way to the timing line. So let's see if he can improve in his time. Goes to the inside as much as he can. Does he improve? He does. He goes to 4th place. And only 100ths away from the Sheep, who was in 3rd place. So just ahead of him there for an AlphaTauri. Let's go on board with Daryl. Crucial lap for him. They're in 3rd place in the standings. As his championship rival William, who was in 2nd place in the standings, is only 30 points ahead of him and isn't racing this weekend. There's only a handful of points up for grabs with 3 rounds to go. This is a crucial round for Daryl to catch up and close that gap to 2nd place. He's also got Andrew dangerously close behind him, who is racing this weekend and has currently got the pole position, on track to get pole position for the sprint. Now entering the final sector. Probably the easiest sector of the circuit, as the majority of it consists of this, which is a flat out run to the timing line. The final 3 turns are flat out, so... And Neo third, so that pushes Reels in the Mercedes out of row 2. So it's currently Andrew and Yaxt on row 1, and then Daryl and Sheep for Red Bull on the 2nd row of the grid. As it is every weekend, there is less pressure in qualifying, so even DNFing is not too much of a disaster, as normally Marble Racing League races are very eventful with a few safety cars. Oh, that is an AlphaTauri who's gone over the polystyrene board. Bit of a distraction there for Veriduca and the Haas. His teammate Simple is just ahead of him and in 9th place with a time of 1 minute 9.3. Simple had a great qualifying last time out, starting 2nd on the grids. Haas are on track to lock out row 5 for the sprints. Not the best of results for them so far. They have dropped a few positions in the standings in the most recent rounds. They've dropped to 8th. Actually, they are tied for 7th, so McLaren have also got 97 points. And that's AlphaTauri, who are ahead of them in the standings, not too far ahead of them. Bit of a gap back down to Merc and Alpine. Oh dear. Very easy to lose the rear there with the banking in turn 7. And he's had a big moment there, so not great news for Veriduca. Not much time in the session left, only just under 3 minutes left, so... Ivo was on the flying lap, but has got his lap time deleted, so he'll probably come into the pit lane to put on a new fresh set of tyres and go for a final flying lap in this 18-minute qualifying session, which is coming to a close shortly. Good news for Gigi Lewis Virus, he disconnected, but he is now on track, which is great news for Mercedes. Despite that, Mercedes will not score any points this round, even if they finish 1st or 2nd, because both the drivers for this weekend are reserve drivers. That will not contribute to Mercedes' points tally. The good news for them is that none of the Alpine drivers are racing this weekend either, so that points deficit will not close at all this weekend, definitely. In the Marble Racing League, the top 13 drivers score points, so it's not a difficult job to get in further point scoring positions. Not for the sprint, but for the real race. DJ Lewis Faris does not improve in this time, unfortunately, so he stays 10th. Enzo, who's now the full-time driver for Ferrari, is in 7th place, just ahead of RK34. He's just about set a time under the 1 minute 9 boundary. And is just over 2:10, set a lap time just over 2:10 ahead of RK44. And he's improved to 2nd place. That is a great effort for Enzo with only half minute to go. Let's see if he can improve. She's on an out lap. Let's go on board with him for a flying lap then. Into turn 1. It's a nice turn in there. Might have got a bit wider than he would have wanted to. That could compromise him. Heading down the second DRS zone of the lap. Long run down into turn 4. Making just after the 100 marker board. Important not to get too much oversteer there. Heading out to turn 5. Not too many improvements so far on it for the other drivers. At the start of the session, Sheep had the fastest flying lap time, but has fallen to 5th place. Okay, so Andrew's gotten even faster, so with a 1 minute 8.1, that's a great time by him. All eyes on Sheep now. Can he do a Red Bull front row lockout for the sprint race? DRS open. Coming very close to the time now. Was that 2nd place? I think it was. Yeah, so it's a Red Bull front row lockout for the sprint here in Sao Paulo today. There we have it, that is qualifying over for round 18. So it was Andrew who set a really good lap time of 1 minute 8.1. And only 4 tenths, quite a big gap back to his teammate Sheep, who was in 2nd place. That was a 4.5 tenth gap. Ento was very close to getting onto the front row in the Ferrari. And then we have Yaxt. That was very close between 2nd and 4th place. And 5th and 6th. Bit of a gap back down to Diego in the Williams. Championship leader, Sucre did not participate in the session, so he's quite far down the order. Arco 34, Simple and DJ Lewis Faris round out the top 10. Verdugo, Ibo, Sucre and Skid Solo starting outside the top 10. We'll be waiting a few minutes for drivers to select their fuel load and the tyre compound that they wish to use for the entire race, for the entire sprint race in round 18 today. It will be a shorter waiting time compared to the 50% distance race later on, as there won't be any pit stops. It is a Red Bull front row lockout. I think it's the first time a team has locked out the front row in season 5 of the Marble Racing Championship. So far, we still have a few rounds to go. Only 2 more rounds to go, so that's Silverstone, round 19, and then Abu Dhabi, which is also sprint weekend. This is the penultimate sprint weekend, and then the next round, Silverstone, will be the actual penultimate round. In terms of the story so far this season, Sucre has won 9 times. And then William got his second win of the season a few rounds ago. Can't remember where that was. Yeah, it was in Spain where he picked up a second win. And then there's Daryl and Sebastian, who both got 1 win each, much earlier in the season. I think Daryl got his in Texas, and Sebastian got his first win in I think it's Imola. Very close battle for 2nd place in the constructor standings. between second and fifth, and also for sixth place. So we've got a three-way battle there. And also very close between second and fourth in the driver standings. Sebastian, after a few absences, has fallen away from that three-way fight. Now three-way fight. Battle for sixth place in the standings is very close. Yax maintaining that sixth place for a few rounds now, but you've got Diego, Trunk, and Race Chase very close behind him. Okay, so it's time for the sprint for round 18, and we're away for the formation lap. 14 drivers competing in round 18 today. There we see Andrew there in the Red Bull. Then we have Sheep, the reserve driver for Red Bull this weekend, rounding up the front row. Then we have Enzo and Yax in the Ferrari, and then the AlphaTauri running at row 2. Daryl, who is in third place in the championship, is starting fifth. Probably would have wanted to start higher, but it is a sprint weekend, so it's not a disaster at all for him. Can definitely make up a few places. Let's get the tyre compounds. As expected, a mix of softs and mediums. Both Red Bulls opting for the medium tyres. Probably worried about the heavy degradation on the soft tyres. However, those in the second row have opted for the soft tyre. So they're going for the more aggressive strategy at the start. They are at risk of tyre wear, heavy tyre wear towards the end of the race. Then we have Daryl, who is playing it safe on the medium tyres. Reserve driver for Mercedes, Reels, is starting sixth. No pit stops in the sprint race, of course. Diego and Arco 44. Diego is in the top 10 in the standings. Arco 44 is in 12th, but very close to 10th in the standings. They're starting 7th and 8th on row 4. Simple and DJ Lewis Virus round up the top 10. The other half of Verdugo, who has been consistently picking up points this season, has now got a tally of 39, is in 15th place in the standings. And then we've got Ibo running up row 6 there in the AlphaTauri. Oh dear, a bit of a spin there. One of the Mercedes drivers just heading onto the grid. Okay. So that is all 14 drivers on the grid. We'll be getting underway very shortly. That's all 5 laps are on. We are underway in Sao Paulo for the sprint race. Great start by both Red Bulls. Enzo's got a really good start. Not a great start by Yax, who has lost a few positions. Is Enzo going to go for a move down the inside into turn 2? Yes, he does. He's got up into second place on the soft tyre. Sheep has lost a position. Daryl's gained a position ahead of Yax. And we're going to go on board down into turn 4. Any overtakes there? Yes, that is the Haas nearly making a move on the Williams of Secret F1 there. So Secret F1 has got up into 10th place, just ahead of Simple and Verdugo. Both those Haas drivers just outside the top 10. Lots of lockups there. Secret F1 taking a very tight line. Very close in the mid-pack here. Some drivers taking some very tight lines there. It's good solo. No incidents so far, so top 14. All 14 drivers still in the sprint race. That's good to see. Let's go back on board with Andrew. He's got Enzo right in his tail on the soft tyre. And we've got some side-by-side action between Daryl and Sheep. Heading into turn 1. Not quite the opportunity for Daryl. He's going to have to remain in 4th place. Very promising start for him. No DRS yet, but he's going to try and make a move around the outside. Sheep brake late there and has defended that 3rd place. But all this is doing is creating a gap between 1st and 2nd, and then 3rd and 4th. Interesting to see the different lines there. Unfortunately, that tighter line gets you a big stop on the exit, which is not ideal for Daryl. He's lost a bit of time there. He'll be able to catch it up. We've got a spinner there. That's Ibo who's lost the rear there coming out of turn 6. Oh, sorry, turn 7. And there's been a change of position just as I went. Oh, that is very close between Yax and Daryl. And Daryl has ceded the position, so he's down to 5th. This battle is continuing as we head into lap 3. Great on board here with the axe. Daryl with the inside line. Contact there. DRS enabled. And that's giving a great opportunity to the reels. 3-way battle here as we head down to turn 4. And that is Daryl losing another place. Great move by Rills who's in the Mercedes, who is up to 4th place. Such a shame that this won't contribute to Mercedes' tally. They desperately need a lot of points to join that battle for 6th place in the championship. That unfortunately won't happen this weekend. Close battling between RK44 and DJ Lewis Virus. Between a battle for 9th place, that is. Simple, very close to the back of DJ Lewis Virus. Who could be starting to struggle already on the soft tyre. Oh no, that is Simple who's lost it coming out, entering turn 12. Oh, nearly getting in the way of Ibo there. So yeah, I think he clipped DJ Lewis Virus there. And we've got a battle for the lead, so this is Enzo on the soft tyre, taking the lead of the race on the more aggressive soft tyre strategy. However, that could be disadvantageous as we approach the final stages of this sprint race. Can they last for the full 12 laps is the question. First of all, can he pull a gap? That's the first step. He's going to get out of. He's going to make sure that Andrew does not stay within DRS. We are approaching a third of the race distance for the sprint race. The top 8 all within DRS with each other. Very close between the two Mercedes. Daryl has managed to get himself back up into 4th place. We've got another spin for DJ Lewis Virus. One of the trickiest corners on the circuit with the banking. Can catch so many drivers out. We saw Iabo do it who's on the soft tyres and is now on 14th place. Ooh, I felt someone go off there. And there we see Sukrofon, who's got ahead of his teammate, and he's going to go for another pass. He started I think he started 13th place. Takes a very tight line heading into turn 1, but has managed to get past both of them. So, okay, so that is Reels lagging a bit, and that is costing him dearly. That is going to be a bit of a nightmare for Daryl, who does not need the championship leader to cause him to lose a position. So he's under threat from falling to 5th place, is Daryl. And Daryl has also fallen away from this 3-0 battle for the league. So Sheep has stayed and has actually managed to catch up to this top 2. And I've missed this battle for the lead too, so Andrew's got ahead of Enzo. Other soft tyres already starting to wear out. We see lots of soft runners making mistakes. Is that DJ Lewis Virus from the soft tyre making another error at turn 7? Yax has got ahead of Reels in 7th place. Can Secret F1's teammate Diego make a pass on Reels Taravillo? Very unfortunate for Reels Taravillo, who seems to be having issues and is losing a lot of time, unfortunately. Very unfortunate there for Reels, who seems to be having some technical issues, and it looks like he's going to be retiring from the session. Mercedes not having a great race so far. They're not going to score any points anyway. So close to the barrier there for Ivo. They're in last place. Nearly, the leaders have nearly put a lap on him in 14th place. Enzo still can't get past Andrew, unfortunately. Is that a mistake for Yax? Yeah, he's gone wide, so Yax has lost 2 positions there, firstly to RQ34 and then to Diego, so disaster for him as he falls down to 8th. Have a bit of breathing space for him as Verdugo is 5 seconds behind him. Let's go back on board with the leaders. It's a three-way battle. The gap between the three drivers have expanded, and it looks like Daryl and Suko F1 are starting to close up to the top three as well. You can see all 5 of them on the back of the screen as well. So it's a 5-way battle, so close for Enzo. Has he lost it? Yeah, he has lost it. I thought he saved it, but he just about clipped the graph and has lost the rear there. So unfortunate for Enzo there. He was having such a good race. He was fighting for a lead for a large majority of it, and he's now only barely in the top 10. Such a shame. So it's now returned to Red Bull 1-2 after Enzo's spin coming out of turn 3. That has unfortunately put Daryl out of DRS range, so that is going to make him vulnerable to Suko F1, who is in 4th place now. Both of those drivers in the championship fight. Suko F1 with a very comfortable lead of nearly 100 points over William. William also isn't participating in this round, so that could definitely go over 100 points, even after the sprint race, by the looks of things. Heavy defending there for Daryl. He's going to try and go round the outside of him, heading into turn 1. Ibo just getting out the way then in the AlphaTauri. Got 3 rounds to go, so there is 2 sprint races, so I would say there is about possibly just over 100 points maximum up for grabs. That's the maximum points all you can get from these final 3 sprint races and final 3 actual races and the 2 sprint races. So yeah, it looks like Suko F1 could actually see the championship today. I'm not actually fully sure on the championship permutations, but I would say that Andrew and Daryl are fully out of it, and William is just about in contention. Still on board with Daryl. This is the battle for 3rd place. Daryl has lost the position to Suko F1, who's now into the podium positions for the sprint race. Cool nose cam there for Daryl in the Aston Martin. Well, very close 4-way battle between Enzo. Oh no! Simple and Enzo have collided. Very brave to try and make a move down the inside there into turn 6. We saw similar incidents in the real F1 between Esteban Ocon and Roman Grosjean back in 2017. That ended one of the longest point scoring streaks in history. That was quite a few years ago there. Back on board with the Mercedes G. Lewis Faris. Gap is closing, so yeah, so you're gonna he'll possibly get the DRS. He has passed the detection points. I'm not sure if he's gonna get it. Has he got it? I don't think he has. He is very close though. Yeah. Interesting to see that Suko F1 is starting to put the pressure on Sheep. Very convenient for Andrew to have his teammate, the reserve driver for today, up there in 2nd place. Is doing a very good defending job so far. And that gap is growing to nearly 1.5 seconds. very close between the two, but Suka Juan has made the pass. He's up into second. Daryl has got DRS as well, closing in on that trio, on those two drivers. So Daryl is now going to try and close the gap and make a pass from both of them, if he can do it. Brilliant to see the top four drivers all in the same picture, with only we're already on the penultimate lap. So it's been a very close race so far. Ooh, has there been a mistake there? No. So I think Sheep tried to make the pass but wasn't able to complete it. So he stayed in third place and has got a track limits penalty as well. Oh no, sorry, Daryl's got the track limits penalty. Diego's the other driver this race so far to get the track limits penalty. We haven't been focusing on this battle too much. This is the battle for the 5th place. They are quite a way off the top 4. So definitely not going to put any pressure on those top 4 drivers in the final lap of the race. Okay, so Daryl is only 4.5 tenths, but has run out of road there. Make a pass. Can he do it? Heading into turn 4. This is probably the penultimate chance for him. There was obviously the run down to the finish line for him to try and make the pass. It's all about whether Sheep makes a mistake there, and he's just done that. Making a pass, it's really hard to make a pass from the outside, but he's done it. He's got ahead of him on the straight, down, heading towards turn 6. And he's completed the move, so he's up to 3rd. And Sheep, he was in 2nd place, Red Bull was set to lock out the front row for the 50% distance race later today, but that's not the case. He's now just about on row 2. Sorry, there is a bit of breathing space for him though, as RQ34 is in 5th place, is 8.5 seconds behind him, and he's under pressure from Diego. There is Andrew and Suka F1, very close to each other, coming over the timing line. Unfortunately, due to Daryl's penalty, which I forgot about, heading onto the final lap. So Daryl's now dropped to 4th. So Sheep has now got up to 3rd due to that penalty for Daryl. That battle between Diego and RQ34 hasn't changed much. So I think Diego stayed ahead of him, but RQ34, unlike Diego, did not get a penalty. There's Yax Reduke and Skid Solo coming across the finish line. What a shame for Enzo. That start looked really promising for him. Got up into 2nd place and had a spin coming up to this corner, turn 3 as we're seeing now. Got onto the grass, lost the rear and lost a heap of positions. There we see Simple. Oh dear, what's happened to DJ Luis Suarez coming over the timing line. Then we have Ibo, who's a lap down the rest of the drivers. And he comes over the timing line to finish 13th for the sprint race. I doubt that that's a point scoring position, but he's avoided the DNF, so that's good. And he'll be lining up on the final row of the grid for the 50% distance race later today. There we see top 2 there, Andrew and Suka F1 in the sprint race, Sheep in the other Red Bull, the reserve driver for Red Bull this weekend, and Daryl 3rd place in the championship, rounding out row 2. RQ44 and Diego battling hard, but RQ44 just getting ahead there, not on track but due to a penalty for Diego. That's row 3. Yax, Veriduca, Skid Solo and Enzo, who dropped to 10th at the end, round out the top 10. Then we have Simple, who had contact with Enzo earlier in the race and dropped to 11th place, just outside the top 10 in the Haas. DJ Luis Suarez, Ibo, and Reals Terravillo are only DNF this round at the top 14. He'll be starting in row 7 alongside Ibo for this race. So a few minutes for drivers to select their strategies. It's a 35 lap race. That seems like a lot, but the lap time is very short, just over a minute. We've got a few laps. We've got a few more minutes until the formation lap for the 50% distance race at Sao Paulo today. For round 18, we're very close to the end of the season now. Okay. That was much shorter than the 5 minutes that usually happens to wait for drivers to select their strategies. But we're going for the formation lap already. There we see Andrew and Suka F1. I would say Andrew's just a bit too far back. He might actually be mathematically out of this championship too. So Andrew is in pole position, but I don't think he can do much in terms of the championship. It is really Suka F1's championship to lose. That gap is nearly 100 points, and there is around 100 points maximum up for grabs for the rest of the season. So there definitely needs to be a big turnaround in order for a change in first place in the standings to occur. Very short lap time here in Sao Paulo, so drivers already coming to the end of their formation lap. Let's go on board. Suka F1, our championship leader, starting alongside driver in 4th place in the championship, Andrew, row 1. Sheep, the reserve driver for Red Bull this weekend, is starting on row 2 alongside Daryl, who was in 3rd place in the championship. Has a great opportunity to get ahead of William in the standings for 2nd place. Arco 34 is looking to get ahead of Quincy and Simple, who have had Quincy's not participating in this round, so he's looking to get up into the top 10 in the standings. Aggressive warm up there for one of the Mercedes drivers there. Iburn, Rils Taravillo rounding up the grid. Okay. Okay, so we're almost underway. And now we're underway, so that's a great start by Suka F1. Is he going to take the lead down to turn 1? Looks like he's going to just tuck in behind Andrew, so that's Andrew maintaining his 1st place. Very close contact between the Ferrari. There is a yellow flag there, so there was contact. That's Veriduca and Skid Solo having a big crash there. But it's all about who's going to get the lead. Suka F1 has had a great run out of turn 3 and is taking the lead already. Disaster for Skid Solo and Veriduca have lost a lot of places at the start after colliding. Andrew has dropped 2nd. Not a great start by him. Sheep is just about ahead of Daryl. Oh, what has happened to Arco 34? Shows on the minimap that he has lost it coming out of approaching turn 8. So it looks like he's hit the barrier there. No safety car though. So Arco 34 is out the race, our first DNF. So if all the remaining 13 drivers stay in this race and do not DNF, they will all be scoring points. And we've already got this battle for 3rd, so Daryl was already close to Sheep at the start. Doesn't quite have, without the DRS, he doesn't quite have the speed to get ahead of him into turn 1. What a shame for Rils Taravillo, DNF'd just like in the sprint, so possibly, yeah, he's had technical issues again, what a shame. So that's the 2nd DNF. So that's called Skid Solo and Veriduco, who are battling again. They collided on the opening lap. They are the only drivers outside the top 10 who are still in this race. Wow, that gap has grown so much for Suka F1, who is that gap is growing to over a second now. And there's been a change of position, so Daryl nearly got the move done in turn 1 earlier this lap, but has now got ahead of Sheep. DRS will be enabled next lap, so let's see if Sheep can use his DRS on the straight down to turn 4 to get ahead. As I've said, that there has been contact between DJ Lewis Virus, who's got a big penalty there. What's happened to Ibo? It's been a virtual safety car, so drivers are going to have to slow down. That is DJ Lewis Virus pitting due to his front wing damage. Okay. Back on board with Suzuka F1. Interesting to see that that gap is closed under the virtual safety car. It's now under. It's like, okay, now it's over a second. Yeah, all the drivers meeting the delta at different ways so that you can see those gaps. You can see those gaps fluctuating. And there we have Daryl. Just under 2 seconds away from that pack. And then we have Suzuka F1 in the lead. Andrew in second, Daryl in third, Sheep in fourth, Diego and Yaxt very close behind in fifth and sixth. Enzo starting his recovery drive. He started third for the sprint. However, made a mistake halfway through the sprint race. As a result, started 10th for this race. That virtual safety car incident, there hasn't seemed to be any DNFs so far because of that incident. Ooh, and there's battling again, so that's Daryl. Might have been caught out slightly by that restart. Yeah, so Daryl has been caught out by the virtual safety car restart. As Sheep has managed to get ahead of him, so both Red Bull drivers on track to get onto the podium for round 18. They're still side by side, so this is a very great battle. It's a very good battle between Daryl and Sheep. Heading into turn 4, Daryl's maintained that position just about. Sheep is right behind him though. Side by side nearly between Yaxt and Diego. Diego's got ahead of Yaxt there. Now on board with Verdugo, who is just behind Skid Solo. Those two very close to each other. Bit of ghosting there. Verdugo's gone wide. This battle rages on. Wow, so close to contact again between the two. However, let's go on board. With this change in position, that is Yax getting back ahead of Diego for 5th place. And then we have Enzo there, who's just behind that too. In 7th place. Bit of a gap back down to Simple, who got caught up in that incident with DJ Lewis Virus. DJ Lewis Virus might have been at fault for that incident, as great battle for 10th place. That's Schizo and Verdugo fighting for 10th place there. Great battle between those two. Nasty correction there for Verdugo, might get him at risk of getting out of DRS range. Gap between Suzuka F1 and Andrew, who's in 2nd place, is now 2.6 seconds, so that gap does not seem to be closing in any way. So this race seems like Suzuka F1's race to lose. Mathematically, it looks like Suzuka F1 could be on track to win the championship this round. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not completely familiar with Mab Racing League point scoring system. Nasty snap, nasty correction there. Daryl coming out of turn 4. Once again, very close between these three, so that's Yax, Diego and Enzo. Fortunately for Enzo, he's got 23 points in the standings, so he was a reserve driver but now a full-time driver. And those 23 points have added to his tally. He's in 16th place in the championship. Quite a gap between him and Veriduco though, so I'm not sure if he can get up into 15th place. The top 10 in the standings by the end of the season is definitely not out of reach for him. Three wide nearly, heading very close battle between those three drivers. And they've all kept it clean as well, so that's a very good job by all those three. Very close to a big accident there. As you see Enzo getting past both of them, that was an amazing move. Is that Sheep they're trying to get past Daryl? It is. So Daryl's mistake coming out of turn 4 has brought in Sheep dangerously close within DRS range. And interestingly, despite that, Daryl, despite the pressure behind him, Daryl is only 1.3 seconds behind Andrew. That battle for second place seems to be on between those three drivers. And then we have Enzo at the back of the screen there. Only 2 seconds behind those three drivers battling for second place. So the podium is still up for grabs for Enzo here, giving a great recovery drive. Diego and Yax, though, hanging on there for the top 7 drivers, all in a close fight for a podium position. Podium does seem to be out of reach for Simple, and definitely for Ibo, who's now spun coming out of turn 8 and 9. Diego has got the DRS. Can he get ahead of Enzo in turn 4? Not enough though, so he stayed in 6. Can Yaxt, who is 2.5 turns behind him, make a move possibly into turn 6? It is a very risky place to make a move, and he's not quite done it. He's very close to the back of him though. I think we're going to see Ibo coming to the pits now. Yeah, and I think that will cause Sukaf1 to put a lap in him. Yeah. Ooh, I thought Diego was going to go for a move there. Okay, it is very close between Enzo and Diego here. That gap between 5th and 4th has grown due to Enzo's defending. What a shame for Ibo. He's retired from the session. Has he crashed coming out the pit lane? Possibly. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, strange incident there. Yeah, so Ibo is our 3rd driver to DNF in this race. Only 11 drivers still remaining in this race, and we've got a safety car. We are a quarter of the way through this race so far. And it is Simple in 8th place. Yaxt in 7th, Diego in 6th, Enzo in 5th. Daryl in the championship fight in 4th. Sheep in 3rd, his teammate Andrew for this weekend, who is also in the championship fight, is in 2nd. And now we've got Sukaf1, first to pit for new tyres. Andrew's going to follow him, so is Sheep, Daryl, Enzo, pretty much everyone. Is anyone going to stay out though? If the top 7 have pitted, is Simple going to gamble? No, he isn't. He's going to follow them into the pits. So Sukaf1 looking to maintain his lead then, pitting for new tyres. So then we're going to be staying out then. 10 of the 11 drivers are pitted. Is DJ Lewis Virus going to follow them? He is. So that's all 11 drivers pitting for new tyres on the same lap. Ooh, gets it all run to the pit lane. Interesting to see the bottom two changing gambling for a new set of soft tyres. Has Sheep had a spin there? Possibly. Because he's lost a few positions. Daryl's got up into third. Ender's got up into fourth. Diego is up into fifth. And Yax has got ahead of Sheep too. And is up into sixth. So yeah, so not ideal there for Sheep, who has lost a position. Actually, he's lost quite a few positions there. He was in fourth, I think. And then yeah, so Skid Solo there in ninth, just behind Simple. The other half of Veriduco is in 10th, just ahead of the Mercedes, the only remaining Mercedes in this race, which is DJ Virus, who nearly had a DNF coming into turn 12. I think he might have had contact with Simple a few laps ago, which caused him to lose a lot of positions. Simple has had quite a few incidents so far this round. So he had a collision with Enzo, and I think he had a collision with DJ Lewis Virus in this race too. However, DJ Lewis Virus got a big penalty for that incident, so I doubt Simple was at fault for that collision. And then we have Yax coming out the pit lane. Interesting that they're selecting a new set of soft tyres after pitting for a set of soft tyres. Maybe they want their tyres to be as fresh as possible to extend their stint for as long as they can, because it's unlikely for there to be another safety car. There are only 11 drivers remaining in this race. Safety car could be coming in at the end of this lap, but it could also be coming in at the end of lap 12. Let's see if DJ Lewis Virus has time to catch up to the rest of the field. If it is coming in at the end of the lap, I doubt there'll be enough time for it to catch up. Okay, so not ideal for DJ Lewis Virus. He's gonna use a lot of time there. And when is Super F1 gonna go? Very long straight. Better to leave it as long as he possibly can. We see him coming around turn 14. When is Super F1 gonna go? He goes now. That has caught out Andrew slightly. Daryl has had a good run coming out of turn 15. Can Daryl get ahead of Andrew there? No, he can't. No overtake so far in the safety car restart. So Super F1's maintained the lead. Andrew's in second. Daryl in third. Daryl deploying the DRS very early on, using a lot of it. But he can't, it doesn't pay off though. He can't get ahead of Andrew. He's going to have to settle for third for quite some time now, unless Andrew obviously makes a mistake. That could easily open the door for Daryl. And also for Enzo. Patiently waiting behind these drivers. Having a great recovery drive so far. I hope I'm not jinxing him, as I jinxed him earlier in the sprint race. And then we have Simple in 6th, battling with Diego. What's happened to Yax? He's pitted for a new set of soft tyres. He was in 6th, but has pitted again. There could have been contact between Yax and Sheep on the safety car. Maybe that's why Sheep has lost a lot of positions. I'm not sure about that though. Maybe Sheep just had a spin. A large gap between the top 4 and the rest of the field, and also between DJ Lewis Virus. There we see some side-by-side action there. So close between Andrew, Daryl and Enzo. That is the battle for second place between these 3 drivers. Can Enzo make a move around the outside, heading into turn 4? He's used a lot of ERS there. So has Daryl. How much ERS has Andrew got? Yeah, so they've all used a lot of ERS early on. So Super F1. Not the case for Diego, he's only got 50% ERS. So they'll probably have to start saving soon. Another time penalty for GC Lewis Virus. Not the first one he picked up this race. He is quite a way off the field in 11th place on a fresh set of tough tyres. And that Fuko 4 not pulling away as much as I thought he would. So that gap, all top four drivers within DRS range of each other. It's actually Yax who set the fastest lap time so far with a 1 minute 10.3. The gap is closing and they're all on the same set of tyres. Enzo was the outlier on the medium set of tyres in this four-way battle for the lead. Very close between Sheep and Yax. Ooh, would have been very risky for Yax to go around down the inside there. He's sensibly aborted, but Sheep nearly losing another position there. Lap 15 about to commence now. Just as I said Andrew was closing, that gap has now gone to over a second, so it's returned to a three-way battle per second. Ooh, Enzo's gone a bit wide there. Is that going to lose him some time? It is. They're all within 5 tenths of each other, so they're all going to get DRS, but I'm not sure it'll be enough for anyone to make a move. Although saying that, Darryl's quite close, and Diego is very close to Simple, so Simple's got ahead of him. Is Diego going to try and make the move around the outside of him? Sheep have unfortunately lost the position to the Yax now, so Sheep on the hard tyre. That strategy is not paying off so far. Ooh, I missed that. So Yax has spun at turn 6. Can he safely rejoin? Not an ideal position there for Yax, who has lost quite a few positions there. So he's lost 3 places to Sheep, Verdugo and Skid Solo. Haas, with both their drivers attending, are looking to get ahead of AlphaTauri. So Haas, AlphaTauri and McLaren had both their full-time drivers attending this round. However, it is Haas who are looking to score the best result so far due to Yax's spin very recently. So now we know the reason for the safety car. Ibo crashed on the exit of the pit lane and it caused him to respawn on the first corner. So that's what triggered the safety car. The three-way battle for second continues. And then we have Simple, who's got ahead of Diego, and that's a great result for Haas so far. They're 5th and 8th. Are we going to get our second safety car after Yax's DNF? Yes, we are. So Yax seems to have lost the rear coming out of turn 9 to cause him to spin out of the race, unfortunately for him. Okay, so now we're seeing a variety of drivers pitting and staying out. Majority of drivers, so the drivers on the hard tyres have stayed out. However, those in the softs, that is Endu's come in for a new set of soft tyres. So he clearly didn't like the mediums, although he was very aggressive and he was attacking quite well on the medium tyres. He decided to change them quite early on. possibly a good strategy, as if he kept those medium tyres, he would have had to pit quite early on, I would imagine. Those medium tyres definitely would not have got to the end of the race. Safety car restart will probably be at the end of lap 18, which marks the exact halfway point of this race. This 50% distance race at Sao Paulo for round 18 of season 5 of the Mabel Racing Championship. We've only got 2 more rounds to go after this one. One's a normal round, which is the next round at Silverstone, which is next weekend. And then in 2 weeks' time, we have the season finale at Abu Dhabi, which is just like this round, is a sprint weekend. So a lot of points up for grab, despite there only being 2 rounds left. Sheep seems to be having problems under the safety car. He's lost a position to Diego there. It's down to 5th. We've only got 10 drivers remaining in this race. Okay, safety car is likely to come in at the end of this lap, not confirmed yet though. Let's go over our top 5. It's Sucre F1, the championship leader, in 1st place, Andrews in 2nd, Daryl is in 3rd, with Sheep in 4th, Diego in 5th, rounding up the top 5. Let's go and see the rest of the drivers who are going to take the safety car restart. So Skid Solo in 6th place in the McLaren, Enzo's in 7th, who is now the full-time driver for Ferrari. Safety car looks to be staying out, it seems. So we are probably going to be going racing on lap 19 by the looks of things. So we're going to have another lap under the safety car. Yeah, just outside the top 5 we have Skid Solo, Enzo, Tim Verdugo, and Dieter Lewis Virus. Rounding out the top 10. Dieter Lewis Virus and Sheep are both reserve drivers, so that the points they score this round will not contribute to their team's tally. So Red Bull will not be getting addition to their tally due to Sheep's is the points that Sheep score, and Dieter Lewis Virus will not contribute to Mercedes' tally, even if he finishes in the point scoring position, which can be achieved if he stays in the position he's in. Top 13 score points in the Mabel Racing League, however, we've only got 10 drivers left remaining in this race after quite a few incidents and collisions between the drivers. Okay. 99% sure that the safety car will come in at the end of this lap. Yep, it does. Just been confirmed. Safety car in at the end of this lap. Let's see how Sucre F1 can handle this second safety car restart. The most popular option, ideally, is to leave it right to the safety car line where you have to go. As it is a flat out run down to turn 1. Sucre F1 goes now, similar pace to where he did the previous safety car restarts. And it's very close between Andrew, Enzo and Skid. Sorry, it's Sheep, Diego and Skid. And also Enzo. Let's see if Enzo can get ahead of Skitsolo heading turn 4. The Haas of Simple is very close behind him too. And he's going to get ahead, so that is Enzo on a new set of fresh soft tyres. Now up in 6th place. He is the only driver on soft tyres, other drivers are on hards. There is a difference in like the age of the tyres, so the top 5 are all on 10 lap old hard tyres. So is Skitsolo in 7th place. They are Simple, who is on the oldest set of hard tyres, they are 12 lap old hard tyres. DJ Lewis, Virus and Verdugo are on relatively new hard tyres. Ooh, very close between Enzo and Diego. Very aggressive strategy here by Enzo. He won't be able to make the end of the race on these soft tyres. Very unlikely for him to do that. He's relying on another safety car. But the soft tyre strategy seems to be paying off. Can Simple make the move on Skitsolo down to turn 1? Looks like he can, so he's taking the inside line. Slightly wide though. Ooh, nasty bit of curve there for DJ Lewis Virus. And Enzo's got ahead of Diego. Very close there between Simple. Between the final 4 drivers. That's Simple, Skitsolo, DJ Lewis Virus, and Verdugo. What's happened to Enzo? Oh no, he spun again. What a shame. What a shame for Enzo. That was looking so promising for him. So heartbreak for Enzo there, as he had such a good comeback drive. He was nearly up into the top 4 actually, but has lost the position. Looks to have lost it coming out of entering turn 6, unfortunately. Could have also been tagged. He had Diego very close behind him. Okay, so we've got a battle for 7th place here again. This time it's DJ Lewis Virus, who was quite a way off the field before the second safety car, but has now got himself up in 7th place. Ooh, I missed his battle for second, as Andrew's had a crash. Whoa, so that is a big incident. Has there been a crash between Darren and Andrew there? That damage? I'm not sure. What has happened to Andrew coming out, entering turn 4? Yeah, so it looks like Andrew's not very happy with that. So Daryl seems to have collided with Andrew there. That's 2 championship rivals colliding there, and they're only 14 points away from each other in the championship. That will probably be investigated by the stewards, as we've got our 3rd safety car of the race. We've only got 9 drivers left. We've only got 9 drivers left in this race. Very unusual to say that. Oh dear, so that is Simple, who's unfortunately got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Not ideal, as they won't be able to serve that until after the restart. So that will lose him some time. I would assume that some drivers... Okay, interesting to see that drivers are staying out on those hard tyres and not pitting for a fresh set of mediums. Only 13 laps to go, so to be honest, getting to the end of this race on those currently 13 lap old hard tyres is quite a big ask, but it is possible. So according to Andrew, Daryl hit him and sent him into the wall. Oh dear, that is not good. That is the battle for 3rd place in the championship. That gap will unfortunately grow assuming that Daryl finishes this race. Even if he gets a penalty, he will still be in that top 9, which are all, and that fully consists of point scoring positions. So it's all about staying in this race with Daryl to cause that gap to grow between him and Andrew. And that gap is currently 14 points, one of the closest battles in the standings. However, it looks to be likely that Diego will get ahead of Yax in the standings. As Yax is DNF'd, unfortunately, in the AlphaTauri, and Diego was only 2 points behind him coming into this round. So yeah, Diego currently in 4th place, on track to score a lot of points. He only needs 2 points to get ahead of Yax in the standings, so 6th place looks to be on for him. We've got our 3rd safety car of the race for those who've just joined us, and that is Simple and Enzo pitting for a fresh set of soft tyres. The soft tyre strategy on the sprint race seemed to have worked quite well, and we'll probably only have 12 laps left racing, which is equivalent to the sprint race distance. So yeah, soft tyre strategy, definitely not a bad option. They have got a lot of places to make though, so that's Enzo. Enzo had nothing to lose really, as he spun just before the safety car. Unfortunately for him, he's had a very eventful race with lots of ups and downs. Ooh, what's happened? Okay, so that's Veriduco letting his teammate by. That's tactics for Haas there. They're currently 7th and 8th, on track to score a decent point total. Consistent race for them so far, despite Simple having a crash with Enzo earlier in the race. And Suka F1's gone underway again, so that's him managing the 3rd safety car restart of this round. He's maintained the lead. Any moves for position heading to someone? Not yet. Of course, there won't be any DRS enabled until the next few rounds. Sorry, not the next few rounds, the next few laps. And we've got a battle between the last place, effectively. So that is Veriduco on 8-lap-old hard tyres. He's dropped to last, unfortunately. Simple with a great restart has got up to 6th. His teammate letting him by. Someone was very close to leaving it there. Didn't quite see who. Is Simple gonna try and get up into 5th place ahead of Gigi Lewis Virus? Can he make the move into turn 12? Not quite. Can Enzo get ahead of Skid Solo? Very close between the two there. Down the inside, you have Simple. What a move into turn 12 there for Simple. As Enzo has got ahead of Skid Solo as well, so he's up to 7th. Soft tyre strategy seems to be paying off really well so far. Already Simple up into the top 5. Gap between the top 2 hasn't grown too much, so that's Suka F1 and Daryl 8/10 away from each other. Then we have Diego and Cheat battling for the final place in the podium. And wow, there's Simple on the soft tyres, so he is on track to get a podium here. Simple is on the fresh set of soft tyres. Drivers ahead of him are on very old hard tyres and will probably remain on hard tyres until the end of the race. Gonna go through the inside, can he do it? There's contact, more contact. Simple has got ahead of Sheep just about. Sorry, Diego just about. Does Diego have damage? He looks to avoid the damage. What has happened to Gigi Lewis Virus in turn 11? Seems to have spun there. Could have been contact there. Has Skid Solo or Veriduco got damage? No. Back on board is Daryl, who is still 8/10 behind Suka from that gap. Okay, now it's 9/10. That gap is going very slowly, much slower than I expected. Battle for the podium is really on then, so is Simple gonna try and get ahead of Sheep, or is he gonna patiently wait until towards the end of the race? we have still got 9 laps to go after this lap. Ooh, Simple going to go around the outside. He does. So that's Simple already up in 3rd place. Can he close that gap to Daryl and Suka F1, who are our current top 2? Sheep have got a penalty for speeding. No, not speeding, but for track limits. I've missed something for Sheep. Yeah, he's lost it coming out of turn 12 and 13. Are we going to get a safety car? Sheep has carried on, so we're not going to get a safety car there. And then we've got Suka F1. Okay, that gap is growing quite significantly now. That is Suka F1 ahead of Daryl. And then we have Simple in 3rd, comfortably in 3rd. Sheep have retired from the session. What a shame. The 6th driver to retire from this race. We've only got 8 drivers left in the race. And that is DJ Lewis Virus, who is a considerable amount of time behind the rest of the field. Coming out in 8th place now on an old set of medium tyres. Interesting strategy there. Possibly hoping for a safety car with 9 laps to go. Unlikely. We've only got 8 drivers left in the race. Top 7 quite close to each other. Battles are mainly for 2nd and 3rd. Simple very close. Simple's actually unexpectedly he's actually got a very good chance to possibly try for the race win. You're going to go for moving there on the outside. He isn't. The Haas driver, who is 10th place in the championship, looking to get as many points as he can this round. For him and for Haas, Verdugo's in 7th, and could be going for a move down the inside of Skid Solo. Aboard is Simple. He's going to try and go around the outside of Daryl. Daryl breaks late. That's going to compromise him coming out in 10-5. And he's got ahead of him. That is Simple ahead of Daryl in 2nd place now. What a great performance by Simple. He started quite low down the order, but he's managed to get himself up into 2nd place with a very great gamble for the soft tyres in the 3rd safety car. The question is, he hasn't got much ERS, and there's still 7 laps remaining in this race. Can those soft tyres last? The other question is, can those hard tyres last longer than 19 laps? That's a considerable distance of the race. Yeah, we could see a battle for the lead here, an unexpected battle for the lead here between Suka F1 and Simple. So yeah, the 10th win of the season for Suka F1 is definitely not confirmed yet. We could be getting a new race winner here. The gap between the top 2 seems to be quite stable. There we see Diego there in 4th place, on track to get up into 6th place in the standings. What has happened to Verdugo coming out of turn 3? He's lost a lot of time there. Had a little moment there. Now down into 7th place. Skid Solo's got up into 6th because of that. And there's DJ Lewis Varus in 8th, quite a way behind the rest of the drivers. Are those soft tyres wearing out slightly because that gap is not growing? I mean, it is falling down a little bit. Simple there, pushing very hard on the soft tyres. He's only got 6 laps left to go. Ooh, so gap is growing quite a lot there, has shrunk quite a lot there. There we see, so Simple has removed a few tenths between him and Suka F1 there. Change for 4th place, Enzo is good ahead of Diego. I really hope that Enzo doesn't make a mistake again, because that was heartbreaking to see him make the second mistake this round. He had a spin at turn 3 on the sprint race, and then he also had a spin coming out entering turn 6 in this 50% distance race here, much earlier in the race, but he's managed to get back up to 4th place as a result of many drivers pulling over to the wayside, so he's got up into 4th. Can he challenge for the podium on the soft tyres? Definitely not over. We've still got 5 laps to go. Gap is 1.6 seconds between Secret of One and Sinful. Question is, how much will that come down by? Okay, it's growing slightly, so it's now 1.8 seconds. Okay, so with 4.5 laps left to go, can Daryl close and Simple? The 3 hard runners, that's Secret of One, Daryl and Diego, pretty much sitting ducks now on 22 lap old hard tyres. However, the soft runners can start to see their soft tyres are wearing out very shortly too. That gap between Enzo and Daryl is closing slowly, but not as much as Enzo would want it to, as time is running out for him to make that overtake for the final podium position. Diego is staying with Enzo though, so he's going to get DRS down the main straights. He's got a considerable amount of DRS remaining as well. Large gaps to Skid Solo, DJ Lewis Virus, and Verdugo. Oh, I didn't see that Skid Solo is now up in 6th place. He's pitted for a new set of soft tyres. Closest battle on track is for 4th place. That is Enzo and Diego battling for 4th place. Okay, so gap has shrunk between Daryl and Enzo. Interestingly, so actually no, it's grown again. So I doubt to see that this battle for 3rd place is on. We've only got 4. I think Daryl will hang on to the 3rd place as long as he doesn't make an error. The soft tyres seem to be wearing out quite significantly too now. So Simple seems to have pushed too hard earlier to get ahead of Daryl. Will Daryl start to be putting pressure on him? Gap is only 2 seconds between those two. The gap between Secret of One and Simple is much larger compared to the gap between Simple and Daryl. And there is a very large gap between Daryl and Enzo for that 3rd and 4th place. However, under a second between Diego and Enzo. Diego is currently the only driver who's gonna have DRS enabled to him. Large gap behind that battle for 4th place. Bit of a lock up there for Verdugo. Oh, actually quite close there between DJ Lewis Virus and Verdugo. DJ Lewis Virus had a penalty though, so battle for 7th place is definitely on then. Let's go on board with Sucre Form. We haven't been on board with him much, as he's been in the lead of the race for a considerable number of laps now. Definitely the favourite to win this round and could extend his tally of race wins into double digits. Definitely. So 10th race win of the season is definitely on the cards for Secret of One, as he's coming around the final corner now and is going to very shortly start the penultimate lap of this race, that which would be lap 35 and 36. Ooh, okay, so Daryl is now 1.2 seconds away from Simple. This is going to be much closer than I thought. Soft tyres wearing out quite badly. Daryl doesn't have much ERS though, so that might compromise him a bit. Sheep has left the session on those on the soft tyres. Okay. Let's stay on board with the Williams driver unless that gap between Simple and Darrell shrinks to under the arrest range. That gap has stabilised for between second and third place. Good battle between the Haas and the Mercedes for last place. That's the battle for last place. That's 7th and 8th position. And we've got Diego still within the DRS range, but can't quite make the overtake on Enzo for 4th place. Both those drivers up for a very big points haul. Enzo is likely to get very close to that very Duke in the standings, but is not going to get ahead of him in the standings, unfortunately. Actually, he might do, as the sprint race points due to the sprint race points tally as well. So that could change, and we're well into the final lap now. We've got a Secret F1 heading to turn 6. 4-second gap between him and Simple on 12 lap old soft tyres now. Time is running out for Darrell to make the move on Simple. Not within DRS range, unfortunately. Diego very close to Enzo now. Is he going to try and make the move down the inside? Turn 12? No, he isn't. Another penalty for DJ Lewis Virus in the Mercedes. Let's go board a Simple. And that is Secret F1 over the line, so that he's got his 10th race win of the season into double digits then. He might have won the championship mathematically, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the permutations. That's Diego coming across the line. So he's got ahead of Enzo, I missed that, so he's made the overtake there. Did Enzo make a mistake, possibly? And we've got Skid Solo having a bit of a race of his own, comfortably in 6th place. 80 seconds gap ahead of him, 18-second gap behind him, down to 17th, not 17th. That is Veriduco getting ahead of DJ Lewis Virus momentarily. Veriduco could just stay there behind DJ Lewis Virus, as he's got a big penalty. Yeah, so they're going to come over the line now. On track, DJ Lewis Virus has got ahead of Veriduco, but Veriduco will get ahead of him due to penalties. There we see the drivers on the podium. That is Suka F1 getting his 10th win of the season. Simple finished 2nd in the Haas. Great points haul for him. Came into this round 10th in the standings. And that is Darrell running at the podium. Had a controversial incident with Andrews, his rival in the championship. Let's see how if he gets a penalty later after this round. Let's see if that changes the race results. Let's see if Enzo gets up into the podium as a result of it. There we see the full result there. So outside the top 3, we have Diego and Enzo, and Andrew in the Red Bull. Okay, so this is not the actual result. So this is the combined result of the sprint race and the action race. Due to Andrew's DNF, only his sprint race tally was counted, so he's got the 6th largest point haul. Enzo got the 5th largest point haul. Secret F1 came out on top with 32 points in the entire round. And that is it for the sprint race weekend at round 16. Is it round 16? Yeah, it is round 18, but we have cancelled the 3 rounds, so only 2 rounds left to go. I will see you next week in Silverstone.